Chris Yandeck, CYInterview covering Las Vegas and the world. Today we welcome the music director of the Las Vegas Philharmonic, Donato Cabrera. Thank you for joining us in CYInterview today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm glad to be here.
Happy to have you here on CYInterview. And also joining us today is CYInterview sponsor Rob Gills, Chief of Staff at Epic Financial Strategies LLC, Miss Alexa Criollo. Alexa, thanks for joining us again on CYInterview. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. So, Donato, this weekend, May 11th, is going to be your final performance with the Las Vegas Philharmonic. Can you really talk to me about what the last 10 years has been like and what is the state of the Las Vegas Philharmonic?
Well, when I came here to audition, well, let me backtrack even a year before that. I grew up in Las Vegas, and my mother's side of the family has been in Las Vegas since the late 50s. And so when I was told that there was this brand new performing arts center that had just opened, I immediately contacted my uncle and said, hey, I was living in San Francisco at the time, working with the San Francisco Symphony, and I asked my uncle about the Smith Center. He said, yeah, there's this brand new hall that's just opened up. It's beautiful. You should check out the website, which I did. And when I came here it was very odd that's what happened after that, how I became a music director finalist and all of that. But when I came here to do my concert as a music director finalist and walked into the Smith Center, I thought back to when I was a kid in the 70s, and that area where the Smith Center now is, there were just a bunch of train tracks. I vividly remember that, and thinking to myself how far this wonderful city has come. And then since then, in the last 10 years, to see the Philharmonic and the Nevada Ballet and all the other wonderful things that are presented at the Smith Center really connect with our community. And when I mean our community, the people that live here, the people that are dying, have been dying for years to experience cultural events, not just orchestras or ballets, but speaking engagements and Broadway musicals, and all of the things that the Smith Center has given us has it's been a great gift and a wonderful wonderful doesn't even begin to describe what the Smith Center has been to the community of Las Vegas. It's really helped define Las Vegas as something beyond a destination.
I just want to go down to your list. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Which we know, yeah. But now the folks that are moving here now are beginning to experience.
I understand and agree with you 100%. So just want to go down a list of your accomplishments, and then I'm going to throw it to Alexa. Worked with the Juilliard School of Orchestra, the New Jersey Symphony, the San Francisco Youth Symphony Orchestra, of course. You're also the music director currently of the California Symphony. Can you tell us what you feel like you have brought to Las Vegas as the director of the Las Vegas Philharmonic with all your great talents over the last 10 years? Like if you were going to reflect back on all the things you contributed over the last decade.
I would say the thing that I have been able to bring to the Las Vegas Philharmonic, in a sense, doesn't have anything to do with those things, which I am proud of, don't get me wrong, but it has to do with the fact that I grew up here, that I discovered music, all music, but I ended up becoming a conductor of orchestras, but I discovered music here in Las Vegas, and my journeys away from Las Vegas helped me to tell that story when I returned. And so that relationship of being someone from here, I'm not from an extraordinary family of soloists and musicians, but I'm someone who grew up off of Jones Street. And I think people realize that when I walk out on stage and talk to them about this great art form. They sense the fact that I'm not putting on airs.
Alexa, thoughts, questions for Donato?
Wow, it's an honor to be here and have this conversation with you. So, congratulations on all your success, and to think that, the last show after 10 years is coming soon. But how did it all start for you? Like when did you realize, wow, I love music and I want to step into this in a different way?
It was a gradual process, but certainly the spark began with both of my grandmothers. My dad's mother played the piano. She wasn't a professional musician by any stretch of the imagination, but I remember growing up after holiday meals, she would sit down with very little encouragement and play some of her favorite songs, and we would all gather, all of the cousins and aunts and uncles would gather around her piano in the living room in East LA, and this sense of community, of family, was just brought to that next level. And I thought, I want to do what she does. I want to be able to make music and bring people together. Maybe I didn't think about that in those terms as an 8-year-old. I just love the fact that she could sit down and do something magical. I think probably if I think back to my 8-year-old mind, but and my other grandmother helped me facilitated that. It helped me with my first piano lessons, my first piano, and then I played French horn through high school, and really supported my dream. So that's how it started. And then we can all be so lucky to have those one or two teachers in our lives that spark that thing that takes us forward. And for me, that was my high school band director. And that's when I started my college education, I wanted to be a high school band director like him. So that eventually, so conducting sort of sprang out of that. So like I said, it was a gradual process, but that original spark of people coming together out of love, and having that sense of community, that sense of togetherness, that's what the spark is.
I love that.
Alexa, can I just say to you, moving forward, the Philharmonic obviously has to work together to provide the perfect sound. And obviously, Donato is that conductor that leads that train. So can you tell us about some of the important things you have learned working as a team at Epic Financial Strategies, LLC?
Oh, I mean, if I'm going to compare it to that, right, to the elegance of having everything in unison and sync in, that's what we do with all our clients, right? Because we're a team. You may speak to someone, but it's behind me is a group of people with your best interests and trying to make your financial song sound really good, right? So that's kind of where I would see the connection there. It's so important. If one thing is off, you could feel it, you could hear it, right? So to find that collaboration is key.
Donato, let me just ask, in the world of conductors, musical directors, are there just a small group of people? Because you seem just to have left your mark everywhere, on the East Coast, the West Coast, and everywhere in between.
It certainly is an esoteric undertaking, and you don't meet many conductors. They're just not everywhere around. On the end of my block, there's not another conductor living here. That's for sure. But I would say that people that do get into conducting have this passion of course, for the music, as all professional musicians do, but also this sense of and this ability to bring people together. Just how Alexa was talking about, this sense of leading people, of bringing a bunch of different opinions into one way, so that by the time the concert happens, this singular thought is streaming through the music for the entire evening.
Donato, can you tell us about some of your sponsors, the donors, the supporters that have really brought the Las Vegas Philharmonic to where it is today to keep the great culture and entertainment going here in Las Vegas?
This has certainly been, this is the case throughout the country, but particularly true in Las Vegas, that one person can make such a difference. And currently we have Jerry and Rick Crawford, who have been an integral and defining couple for the Las Vegas Philharmonic for the last 25 years. But there have been many people along the way that have been very, very supportive. And I have to just thank all of them, because it really does take a village. It's not just the very generous gifts of certain people, but it's this entire audience of 2,000 people that show up once a month, that buy the ticket and show their love for this music. So I have to thank the entire community of Las Vegas for being supportive of the Las Vegas Philharmonic.
Alexa, any thoughts come to mind seeing how everyone has to work together to be successful?
No, I mean, I think it's beautiful, and it's true in every single industry and everything that you do. For me, my question is, it seems like you started music because you wanted you like that sense of community, of bringing people together, right? So how has that influenced how you lead, like in your day to day?
Well, with regard to leadership, that's something that's a lifelong pursuit of becoming more and more adept at what it comes down to is listening to others. And of course, being a musician, that's what you should be very good at doing, which is listening to others. But I just conducted two concerts just this last weekend, and it was with a very familiar piece that I've conducted many times, but yet again, there was at least five moments where the musicians during the performance taught me something new about that piece. And as I go forward with my career and conduct that symphony again, I'll bring these moments of learning, these little snippets that I've learned from my fellow colleagues on stage to that next performance. And so being a leader is about listening, about not only bringing people together, but giving them the voice to share their experience on whatever project you're working on.
I love that. So you feel leadership is also being able to allow them to teach you something and you be able to evolve. Beautiful.
So Donato, Alexa works with the founder of Epic Financial Strategies LLC. Rob Gill is also CYInterview sponsor, and he actually just put out a new book called Surviving Success. Alexa, tell us a little bit about Surviving Success and maybe something from the book that comes to mind from this morning's conversation.
Well, so I'm very proud of this book, and I will hold it up. It's right here. Yes, it's called Surviving Success, and it's really a beautiful story, unique guide that intertwines Rob Gill's personal story of his growth and financial success with the vital financial tips along the way, right? We truly believe that people learn the best through stories, and his is really an incredible one. So, what comes to mind just based on our conversation is not just the aspect of a team and how important that is when you're helping anyone get to a goal or putting a beautiful performance together, beautiful financial plan, right? But the influence that our childhood has, right? And those passed by mentors that we have. So for you, it was, not just your grandmother who sparked kind of this love for music, but your teacher, right? Later on in life. And he talks about all his mentors throughout his life, and none of us would get anywhere without mentorship. I think it is so important, right? It makes us who we are. So that's what comes to mind. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because it's been great to listen.
Hey, Alexa, I'm going to take something from Rob Gill. Hey, Donato, do you have like a top 5 in your life of inspirations, people like have put you where you are today?
Top 5? Oh, most definitely. I probably have a top 75. As Alexa just said, we stand on the shoulder of giants, and one of the things that I have always told people as they go through school, as they're in college, as they're leaving their years of education, is that that's not the end of your educational life. You're just not the beginning, and it's so important to continue to find people that inspire you, that can mentor you, that can help guide you through the rest of your life. Learning is, for me, something that never ends. It actually only deepens. In fact, I feel that since my master's degree, that I've really started learning things. I mean, that was just sort of like opening the doors of teaching you how to learn in school. And then after that, that's when the real learning begins. So, top 5, obviously my high school band director, the music director of the San Francisco Symphony, Michael Tilson Thomas, the music director of the San Francisco Opera, Sir Donald Runnicles, of course, my parents, my family, and yeah, the list goes. My middle school band director, who came to my very first concert when I was here at the Las Vegas Philharmonic, Mike Delage, I couldn't believe it. I mean, he helped me start to play the French horn. So the list is endless.
Donato, do you believe that classical music is particularly well suited to help people relieve stress and improve brain functioning?
I would say that music is that. Now, Some of the benefits of classical music, and not just classical music. I would say jazz is also a good example. If anything can help you sit down for longer than 10 minutes and pay attention to that thing for that period of time or longer, that is a good thing. So by its very nature, classical music can often be, 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. Operas are 4 hours long. Something to help you sit down and just get your mind off of all of the things, certainly can help that for sure.
Does
Certainly
class
help,
and so then I'm going to ask you this then, does classical music promote higher order thinking?
without doubt. Now, of course, this means engaged listening. Just sitting there, and if you put the classical music on in the car while you're driving, that may not do anything other than just be something for you in the background. But if you engage with classical music, like I said, any type of music, if you engage with it, it will certainly help that, without a doubt.
Well, we're so great to have you here today on CYInterview. It's Las Vegas' fastest growing media outlet. We've been covering the Las Vegas Philharmonic and the stories and the events that you guys do over the years. I'm just going to ask, you may be stepping down as the musical director after 10 years this month, but the question I have for you is, are you still going to be involved with the Philharmonic? Where do you see your role within the Las Vegas entertainment and arts community now?
That's a good question because it's obviously changing. But I'm still here in the community, and I just this week I was at the Composers Room in the Commercial Center on Tuesday night, and at the Bootlegger Bistro Copa Room on Monday night, seeing the Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns play. I feel now, as I go forward, I'll just have more time to become an avid fan and supporter of this music whenever I can. And with regard to the Las Vegas Philharmonic, I'm going to now get the chance to experience it from the other side of the stage, and which I will greatly appreciate, actually. So I will be here as the Las Vegas Philharmonic's biggest supporter and fan going forward.
So one last thing I want to talk about, then I'm going to throw it to Alexa for final questions. We talk about the focus and the attention that it takes to really take in the beauty that is the classical music that you conduct at the Philharmonic and all the other symphonies and things that you've done across the United States of America. So I would really love your take on that versus, the short attention span theater world we have today with social media where everybody is just hooked on their phones looking at a 30-second clip. I think that what you do is just so important today because it creates active focus.
Without a doubt, I can't tell you, and I fall into that too. We all have this very fast lifestyle, and I'm, I'm ashamed to say that, I might be catching the news flash as I'm sitting at a stoplight on my phone, and I'm doing all of the things that everyone else is doing with social media and ingesting information. I mean, it's an incredible thing. I was just talking about this last night to a friend that in our hands, in our phone, we have the world's history at our disposal, that's the first time in history in humankind that we have this access. And it's a double-edged sword because it's almost too much information. TMI. We live in the TMI universe. Mm-hmm. And in order to get rid of that, finding avenues to focus one's mind on one thing or nothing at all I find it becoming harder and harder and harder. So when you buy a ticket to see a movie, go to a concert, obviously go to the Las Vegas Philharmonic, you're almost forcing yourself for at least those 2 hours to hopefully be able to focus on one thing, which is listening, active listening. And it definitely can change one's life by doing that.
And I'm just going to add to Nato, I'm sure you'll agree with this, just your final thought on this, at the same time, there's also disinformation in our hand, and then the information we get is without context, where a symphony is all about context, of course.
That sort of, it's kind of off topic, but it reminds me of when we lived in the world of bookstores and record stores where you would walk in and you'd be looking at Miles Davis, the section of Miles Davis, and the guy behind the counter said, "No, you don't want that recording. You want Kind of Blue." Or you're looking in the Beethoven Symphony No. 9. It's like, "Oh no, you want this recording because this is the best recording ever made." We don't have that. We don't have those gatekeepers anymore guiding us to what is good, because all that information we have, a lot of it's just not worthy of our time. But we don't know that. We don't know that anymore, and I miss those days. And I think it's when you go to a Philharmonic concert and you see a concert of music that I've selected. I tell you why I've selected it, not because I think it's better than other things. It's just because I have a passion for those three pieces and why they work together. And I think that connection to the arts through a conduit is so important. And I think it's really important for any subject.
Absolutely. Alexa, final questions for Donato.
One question for me, I'm a little bit younger, and I can't say that I've had actively listened to classical music. I know I have in my studying days when I was in college, because it was very, soothing. What would you give as far as a piece of advice for someone maybe a little bit younger or getting into or thinking about getting into the arts, or maybe creating a newfound appreciation for classical music and things that you do? What would you say is a piece of advice you'd give them?
I would say the first thing is go to live events. And it doesn't have to be necessarily just the Las Vegas Philharmonic. It could be free events at UNLV. I think they have at least one concert every day on the campus, and it's free. And I would just get out there and see what's available. Nevada Ballet Theater, their productions are beautiful and they're world class, and to see Swan Lake live is so much more meaningful than going onto your iPad and watching, and going onto YouTube and watching a production of Swan Lake. I mean, or going to Opera Las Vegas, or going to the Copa Room on Monday nights to see this incredible blues band play it's like $20. I mean, to see live music is it's life changing. So just get out into the community. Don't be afraid. The Smith Center is there for you. The Las Vegas Philharmonic is there for you. It's not for a certain level of people of economic income. It's there for the entire community. So feel like that place is for you and that music is for you. I think that's the first thing to get over.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So finally, Donato, I'm just going to ask you, after 10 years of being at the head, being the music director here at the Las Vegas Philharmonic, what do you hope for the future for all of the fans, through all the monthly people who come to see these performances at the Smith Center?
Well, I hope that it continues to grow. Almost every concert that we do now, especially in the last couple of years, is close to selling out. And so when that happens, I think it's just an excuse to have more concerts. And so we offer, Las Vegas Philharmonic offers usually 9 or 10 concerts a year. We start thinking about doing more and more concerts for our community. It certainly can handle that. So what I would like to see for the Philharmonic is a growth in giving concerts. I think it's very important and certainly sustainable.
I think so. Donato, you have contributed so much over the last 10 years to the classical arts here in Las Vegas and the entertainment scene overall. And we're very lucky to have you here in the entertainment capital of the world. And we'll continue to get the word out, have you back with, getting the word out about the Las Vegas Philharmonic and having you back. So for the music director of the Las Vegas Philharmonic, 10 great years, Donato Cabrera, and the Rob Gill's Chief of Staff at Epic Financial Strategies LLC, CYInterview sponsor, Ms. Alexa Correggio, thank you both for being on CYInterview today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's CYInterview segment from Las Vegas. Please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button to be updated on all future CYInterview content from Las Vegas and beyond.